people. That's never been our lifestyle. It was a strategy. It was effective in India for Mohandas K. Gandhi. So King decided to use that strategy. But it wasn't the end game. It wasn't the ultimate strategy because you had another general in the wait. Now, when the assassination orders went in for Elijah Muhammad's assassination, the Nation of Islam needed what they call a red herring. They needed you to run a pattern like in football, a decoy, so that Elijah Muhammad can trap the traitors. But y'all don't understand that, so I can't really go into the Malcolm X assassination right now, because that's a whole nother thing, and I gotta first go through it with a group of people in private before I deal with it publicly. But Malcolm ran the red herring is all I can tell y'all to save Elijah Muhammad's life from an assassination, and he surrendered his life for it. He could have faked his death if he'd have knew about it back then, but he didn't. They wasn't faking deaths yet. That was a pre-Farrakhan era. There wasn't no faking no deaths in the pre-Farrakhan era. I bet you could. You's a minister for music at the church. You done seen all of the shenanigans going on in the church. Yep. They got y'all thinking the Masons something other than what they is. I'm not gonna even deal with that. I'm gonna let y'all figure that out when the shit hit the fan. Thanks, Beverly. That's right on point. SUVs are generally black, but they also use dark gray and navy blue. But they all look black at night. Vans are generally white. They're abducting. Yep. Yep. Bible is a book of spells. It's also a book of lessons, and it's a book of wisdom teachings from the ages. And yeah, King James. I ain't gonna tell you the Bible is a lie. I'm gonna tell you that it's been altered because it all came. When you trace it back, it come from Egypt. It's the story of Heru, Isis, and Osiris, and the war with the gods with Set and Osiris, the Osirian resurrection. That's all it is. It's a book called the Osirian Resurrection. You can look it up. I did post on it in this last year. I did a whole lot more than one, and you'll find the stories that you call your get 16 crucified saviors by Kersey Graves. It's nothing new. They've been trying to steal who we was from the beginning. They can't steal it. We too smart for them. No, Levita, he actually pointed to the Bible for a different reason this time because he's on a whole different wavelength and agenda. The blueprint of white supremacy is called the Protocols of the Learned Elders of Zion, and I already told y'all who those Moors were, and that Zion is the mountain of sin, and the mountain of sin AI. The AI is a Egyptian word AA, which is a high priest. AI or AA became an interim pharaoh after the assassination of Tut. That's your Farrakhan flip. So the priests of sin are what they are. Those Zionists. They from the mountain of sin. That's a Babylonian doctrine that comes to the Kabbalah as money magic, and it teaches them how to use your own information that you genetically linked to in order to tie you into a bondage of a caste system. Well, we call it servitude, but it's a caste system in which your skin determines where you sit in the caste system. In India, it's your family's profession determines your rank, and that's where they went and got it from. The protocols of the wise man of Zion was first used to create a caste system in India that put what we call Dravidians on the bottom. See, and now, so when they go talking about the Dalai Lama, them motherfuckers don't know that motherfucker ain't the real Dalai Lama. The real Dalai Lama, my motherfucking daughter, that's my baby. That's the real Dalai Lama. That's the real high priestess of the earth, of the indigenous rights. But no. So anyway, they went and got that document under Alexander. That was what made Alexander the greatest conqueror in the history of the world. But he didn't want to face those sisters in Ethiopia. They called it Candace Queens. The Candace Queens would have whooped that motherfucker ass, because when the women lead the soldiers, the men don't be bullshitting, because if anything happened to that sister, they gonna tear some shit up on a level you ain't ready for, right? Right. See, look, I'm gonna go over it in a minute. Blacks killed in Alabama back in November. Nobody said anything. Uh, Gone, Joy. Simon say we all fall down. That mean we all stand up. Got a snow bunny girlfriend say forgive the police. Look, I don't got a problem with everybody on the force. I got a problem with everybody on the force that got a problem with people that look like me. I don't got a problem with everybody on the force. I got a problem with everybody on the force that got a problem with people that look like me. That's not enough. Just because you look like me don't automatically make you a criminal. Look, my hair all over the place. I look savage, right? I'm supposed to look savage right now because I'm in a savage mindset. And I want to savagely gore these motherfuckers. But I got to be wiser than that. I can't just fall for the dumb shit. So she say forget the police. You forget the innocent, but the guilty ones can die. They can eat shit and die. We don't need police. So yeah, those the Vatican, yeah, they didn't been evicted. Yeah, Vincent, if you got any questions, I'm scrolling down looking for questions because I'm almost done. Hey, look, the dude that got killed. Let's say he was a porn star, right? Not only that, let's add some more dirt to it. Let's say he was a crackhead, porn star, heroin addict, alcoholic, weed smoking, gambling motherfucker. He still didn't deserve to die like a dog in the street. So I ain't with that shit. I say don't even. Let me put my foot on that police neck, and a couple of the homeboys put their knees in his back and do him like he did that brother, and then maybe you know it would matter if the dude was a porn star. I say if he was a porn star, he should have fucked their ass up. He good at fucking. He should have fucked some shit up. He was trying to be nice and compliant with them motherfuckers. He didn't know he was about to die, but maybe he did because it's all in their script. Yep, Vita, I love they books. I tried to get every book. I can't wait to get situated because I got a whole lot. I got a book list longer than your grocery list. See, Ranell telling you yes, the raccoon people, the Masaki Indians. I mean, we look. They told y'all Uncle Tom was the bad guy. He the one who motherfucking got everybody off the plantation. Blackfoot Cherokee. Yep. Mike, you all my people know what's up. I ain't even got to keep explaining this shit. Yep. Yeah. So look, if you see him with them locks on the outside, get you a can of spray paint and write pedophile trafficking vehicle on the side of that motherfucker while you protesting. identify that motherfucker with some spray paint. You tell everybody else out there with them people, if they want to protest, when you see them pedophile vans, you automatically know what they look like because the locks is distinctive. And there's people on Facebook that's posted it over the last year numerous times. They want y'all out there so they can kidnap these, especially the cute young girls and the petite ones and the ones that look like kids. They might be 17, 18, but they might look like they're 11 and 12. They really want them bad. That's their preference on adults. They want them. So pedophile, trafficking vehicle, spray that on the side of that motherfucker. And then it's going to catch on. Everybody going to start seeing it. Big ass arrow at the lock. And right over the arrow, right, pedophile, trafficking, vehicle, locks. And make sure a motherfucker know what you're talking about. And they're going to stop them. They're going to start pulling their ass out the motherfucking vans. Yep. 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 You keep putting it to the end of the video, Beverly. You can say it a couple more times. Make sure they all get the information, because these vans don't look like regular vans. They stick the fuck out. That's why they had to get everybody in the street, Levita. Who they gonna snatch? All the kids is at home with their parents and their uncles and their aunties and shit. They can't get them. See, school was a way for them to monitor children, and they can take their time and pick the ones they want to get and pick the time they want to take them. When they shut that shit down in the middle of the school year, they started running for cover at that point. They was fucked. You can't never defeat the enemy fighting him on his terms. What it look like? You finna fight Mike Tyson, and you tell Mike Tyson, say, I'm gonna fight bare-fisted, but you gotta wear gloves. No, that's not no terms I can agree to. Yeah, the martial law coming, but it's really coming to get Antifa. This is really what they doing in an operation to get the Antifa insiders. That's who they really want. They don't want all these innocent. They won't. Ooh. Levita, you see right through that bullshit. That's all I can say about that. This shit going down. It's happening in real time. The press conference calling out Antifa was today. That's the last dipping cup for the deep state. The last thing left is the Soros. He had already put them people. A lot of them was what you call sleepers. Most of them got a paper trail, but all of them didn't in the police force. So they squeaked by because they didn't have a paper trail on all of them. But they got the ones out that they specifically trained through Central Intelligence to become Manchurian assassins and to go to assassinating on the spot. Look, the Holy Quran is a book that was taken out of Rome. I can't remember which one of the philosophers wrote it. 300 years before Columbus. Before Muhammad. And it's the exact same story as Muhammad. Angel Gabriel came to this dude, and the only thing he didn't meet him in the desert, he met him in a vineyard. And he took him on a night journey, and he gave him the information, and they changed it. Originally in the Quran, it wasn't Allah, it was Allat, A-L-L-A-T, who was the female goddess of the moon, which was Inanna, who they wanted to kill, who was Isis, who was the queen of heaven and earth, who they tried to assassinate in what they called a so-called crucifixion, but they never did. And that's the part they don't tell you. That's why the 3-day resurrection, you died for your sins but came back 3 years later. Man, I can't take that shit. That's too much. Them some sinning motherfuckers. Or else we wouldn't still be sinning now, would we? Now, where do sin come from? The God name is sin. Look it up. The God name sin. In English, it's spelled S-I-N. In Hindi, it's spelled S-I-G-H-N, I believe. And I think it's S-I-H-N or S-Y-N in Arabic. Yad, Sin Yad Nun is how it's spelled. But it's all the same. It's the same mountain that they call Zion. That's not the real holy mountain. The real holy mountain ain't called Zion. It's modern language is called Kilimanjaro. It's in it's at the base of the Nile. That's the holy mountain. That's the mountain of Inanna, or mountain of Isis, where the legends say that she spread her legs and the Nile sprang forth at the base of the mountain from between her legs and it never stopped flowing. That's your Zamzam well of Islam. And it produces the Nile. And the Nile splits into the blue and the white Nile. And the Tigris and the Euphrates is the Middle Eastern replica of the Nile. Because the Nile had to be rerouted to fill in a hole from a nuclear blast where you see the Mediterranean that was a couple 100,000 years ago. Because they had to redirect the Nile, the Tigris and Euphrates was the mirror image of the new Nile. So the Nile flows south to north, but the Tigris and Euphrates flows north to south. That was their way of confusing the people. Both of those are artificial riverbeds. Just the Nile is older than the Tigris and the Euphrates, but they both come from a mountain, and they both are dredged to flow in the direction. The Nile originally, one leg of it flowed north and the other leg flowed what we call west into the Sahara Desert, and it was to be a big ocean the size of the Mediterranean in the middle of the Sahara Desert. It's still a spongy like rock under the surface that holds the water. All this information is verifiable. I hope y'all had the audacity to go look it up so y'all can slap somebody in the face with this shit. So the Holy Land is called Zululand in South Africa. It's the only place on the planet that holds the yoni of the earth. This is the promised land. This is where everybody come to get their dirt cleaned up. In the land of the promise. Because there was one motherfucker over here that don't play the bullshit and the shenanigans. And the only motherfucker that they don't want to fuck with. So they had two people. One was in the Holy Land called Zululand. Look up the meaning of the word Zulu, my people. Look it up. Understand what it means. The American equivalent of Zulu is Hopi. H-O-P-I. Hopi is known in Egypt as Hapi, H-A-P-I, which was a deity of joy.